Hey everybody, how's it going? So in a video that I did recently, I discussed New York City's new vaccine mandate policy and what I thought of it. As someone who is pro-vaccine, as someone who wants to see people get vaccinated, I was not the biggest fan of this policy. Because I actually want to see people get vaccinated, and because in some small way, shape, or form, sometimes I actually think like a progressive, I would like to figure out what the underlying cause is of a problem rather than just try to attack it with force at the point that it occurs. Rather than just build more prisons, let's figure out why people are committing crimes. And instead of saying you're not allowed to enter a restaurant or a bar unless you've been vaccinated, let's try and figure out what's causing people to be hesitant about getting a COVID vaccine when they were not hesitant about getting many other vaccines in the past. I was not for this policy because I don't think it's a good way to go about getting people vaccinated. I think it's a great way to harden people into their initial positions and cause them to become even more stubborn. And I also think it's going to be cruel to the restaurants. Many of the restaurants over the course of the past year have been so desperate for business that they're building structures on the street to try to house more customers just so that they're going to have an ability to pay their rent. You're going to ask them to start screening their customers. If they miss out on screening or they let one person that's unvaccinated in and the city finds out, that's a great way for the city to make more revenue fining them, which is a big reason why they're probably actually doing this. And at the end of it, you're going to have a minimum wage barista that is now going to have to play security guard and kick people out based on their medical status. I think that this is a recipe for disaster as someone who is pro-vaccine, as someone who got the COVID vaccine. And I talked about it in that video. Now, the approach here, the whole idea is we may be able to get more people to get vaccinated if we say, hey, you'll be able to go to restaurants and bars again if you get vaccinated. Don't you want to go to restaurants and bars? They're using the carrot. However, New York City can fuck even that up. And they did with this really, really interesting ruling recently. Do you like jury duty? How many people here watching this video enjoy jury duty? How many of you enjoy getting paid maybe 10 to 20% when you get paid at your actual job to sit in a room, often unair conditioned, for hours and hours on end, sometimes for weeks on end? Do you enjoy that? Is that something you find fun? Forget about your civic duty. Forget about everything else. I know you're supposed to do it. It's a core of our justice system. Do you like it? What if I told you for the rest of your life that you could get out of doing jury duty ever again? And all you had to do is not get vaccinated. That's right. In a city where we want to get as many people vaccinated as humanly possible, to the point where we will bar their entry to restaurants and bars. We will also tell you that if you don't get vaccinated, that you don't have to go to jury duty anymore. This is absolutely hysterical. So this is in the New York Daily News. It says, Brooklyn judge rules only COVID-19 vaccinated jurors can serve. Defense lawyers fear racial disparity. A Brooklyn federal judge has ordered that only COVID-19 vaccinated New Yorkers may serve on an upcoming criminal trial jury, issuing a terse ruling that defense lawyers fear will impact the panel's racial makeup. The Constitution accords defendants many a right. The right to infect 16 innocent jurors with COVID-19, however, is not among them, wrote Judge William Kuntz in a September 3rd ruling against a defense team that requested potential jurors be allowed to serve with or without a shot. The defense argued that including only inoculated jurors at an upcoming trial would make the pool wider, given disparities in vaccination rates among racial groups. Minority groups continue to be disproportionately affected by COVID-19, wrote lawyer Michael Houston in a September 2nd letter to the judge. Excluding non-inoculated jurors will lead to a further underrepresentation of minorities in our impaneled jury and deprive the defendants of their right to a jury drawn from a fair cross-section of the community. In New York, 54% of the adult white population was vaccinated as of August 16th, compared with 41% of blacks, Houston noted. That's actually an improvement from several months ago. In addition, 53% of the Hispanic population was vaccinated, while more than 80% of the city's Asian population has been inoculated. Now, there are many people that have written many articles on why this is the case. There are many people with many different theories on why this is the case. That being said, regardless of what any of those reasons or any of those arguments are, it is a fact at this point in time that there are less minorities that are inoculated against COVID via vaccination than white people. And if there's anything I learned over the past year and a half when it comes to social issues, it's not that we need to have more white people on juries in progressive cities. But that is what appears to be happening, which just makes my head spin. It's just absolutely asinine the way that all of this is turning out. And when you really think about it, if you told me, Lewis, you're not going to be able to go to really overpriced bars where it's $22 a shot. You're not going to be able to go to $45 or $80 restaurants that are little shithole holes in the wall. You're only going to be able to get food at the deli where you pay $5 for a sandwich. And you're not going to be allowed to go to jury duty anymore. Well, gee, don't threaten me with a good time. I mean, really, they want people to get vaccinated. They're looking to incentivize people to get vaccinated. I can't go to overpriced bars and restaurants, and I'm not going to be able to go to jury duty anymore? Well, gee, how do I suck this vaccine out of my arm? Okay, I'm half kidding there, but still, you get the idea. Like, what the like, they're just, on so many levels, you want to motivate people to get the vaccine, but you're going to tell them if they get the vaccine, then they're going to have to do jury duty, whereas if they don't get the vaccine, they can avoid jury duty legally. And after every... I mean, my head is exploding here. Just, you think about all the social commentary over the past year and a half that we've had as a country. And the policies we're implementing right now are going to result in a disproportionate number of white jurors on juries where they are dealing with a black defendant. This is bizarro world. This is total bizarro world. Again, I'm pro-vaccine. I'm pro-COVID vaccine. I got my COVID vaccine. I encourage people to get the COVID vaccine. It doesn't change the fact that all of this to me seems like a giant shitpost. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. I don't think Clinton will, because even he can't deal with this anymore. See you next time.